Always so proactive.
So Nirja ma'am, should we start?
Yeah.
I think it's already 8.
Yeah, please.
So good morning, everyone. This is Feroz Khan from Walter Bushnell marketing team. And on behalf of Walter Bushnell, we welcome you to this wonderful webinar on a wonderful Sunday morning. And this event has been conducted by Indian Menopause Society under the technical collaboration of Walter Bushnell. So without taking much time, I'll hand over the session to Dr. Nirja Chawla ma'am, who is a well-decorated and well-renowned doctor from Chandigarh. Over to you, Nirja ma'am, to take it ahead.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to our third episode of Prerna. Prerna is the brainchild of Dr. Aarti Gupta. She is the Secretary General of the Indian Menopause Society. And I welcome Aarti to say a few words and also to welcome Dr. Pushpa, who is the President of the Indian Menopause Society.
Pushpa ji.
Aarti, pehle aap say a few
Pehle main bolu. Thank you, my viewers of प्रेरणा. यदि मैं आप लोगों से कहूँ तो प्रेरणा एक बहुत छोटा शब्द है, लेकिन प्रेरणा शब्द में जितना सार गर्भित है वो अपने आप में बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. जैसे कि यूजुअली हम आमतौर पे क्या होता है, हम किसी ऐसे बंदे को देखते हैं जो अपनी फील्ड में बहुत सक्सेसफुल होता है, तो हमें उसको देख के लगता है कि हमें भी कुछ ऐसा करना चाहिए कि हम भी किसी ऐसे स्टेप पे पहुंचे, किसी ऐसे मुकाम पर पहुंचे कि हमें भी ये लगे कि हम भी कुछ हैं. तो ये जो प्रेरणा शब्द है, ये आप कभी भी कहीं भी किसी से भी पा सकते हैं. प्रेरणा एक ऐसी चीज होती है कि जरूरी नहीं है कि जो आपको बहुत अच्छे लोगों से या बहुत क्वालिफाइड लोगों से मिले. कई बार बहुत छोटे लोग, जो कि आप सो कॉल्ड छोटे लोग, आई शुड नॉट से अदरवाइज, कई बार आपको ऐसे लोगों से प्रेरणा मिल जाती है जो आपकी फील्ड में नहीं होते, लेकिन उनसे भी आप प्रेरणा पा सकते हैं. तो प्रेरणा के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि हमें अपने ऊपर काम करना होता है. और आज की जो टॉक है पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट, ये पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट भी आपको, जहां तक मैं समझती हूँ, तरवीन जी आपको यही बताएंगी कि हाउ वी शुड वर्क ऑन आवरसेल्फ, जिससे कि आप अपने आप को बेटर और बहुत बेटर करते चले जाएं. थैंक यू नीरजा, थैंक यू सो मच.
Nirja ma'am,
Nirja, you're
Nirja ma'am,
mute.
you're muted.
Yeah.
Dr. Pushpa would like to say a few words. She's the President of the Indian Menopause Society.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And प्रेरणा, इट्स रियली, हमने जब बैठ के ये मैंने और आरती ने इस प्रोग्राम को we gave a frame to it. We decided that it should be slightly different from the dance exercises that were being done last year, but should be on the same grounds, that it is something to do with yourself, not an academic program. So हम लोग ने उसको सोचा कि इसको थोड़ा सा different एक picture देते हैं, and it has turned out really good. बहुत ही अच्छा ये प्रोग्राम है. पिछले 2 जो हुए हैं, they have been really good. All the talks have been really nice. And today the talk of Mrs. Tarveen Kaur, that is pursuit of positive mindset. Being positive is very, very important in your life. In fact, I had given a talk recently, turning your mind with meditation and positive thinking. So positivity in life is very, very important. और यहाँ 2 line मैं आपको बोलना चाहूँगी. It's in Punjabi and I'll just translate it in Hindi. And it shows how everyone in whatever circumstances can be positive if you train yourself, if you want yourself to be so. कितने नंगे पैरी फिरते सिरते लपन छावा, कितने लोग नंगे पैर फिरते हैं और सिर पे छांव ढूंढते रहते हैं जिंदगी भर. मैनू दाता सब कुछ देता, क्यों ना शुक्र मनावा. मुझे ईश्वर ने सब कुछ दिया, मैं क्यों ना शुक्र मनाऊं. सो आपको, अगर आप पॉजिटिव हो तो बहुत थोड़ा भी आपके लिए बहुत कुछ है, और अगर आप नेगेटिव हो तो बहुत कुछ भी आपके लिए कुछ नहीं है. So it's very, very important to develop a sense of positivity and a sense of gratitude in your life. And Dr. Kanika Dhawan, talking of exercises in lumbar canal stenosis and sciatica is a very, very important subject, because sciatica, I think, हर एक को कभी ना कभी जरूर हुआ होता है. You really at a loss कि आप दवाई खाओ या exercise करो या कैसे उसको handle करो, because it turns out to be a very chronic ailment. So I think exercises have a very important role to play there. So these 2 talks are really going to be worth listening today, and looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
So it is with extreme pleasure that I now invite Mrs. Tarveen Kaur. She's our motivational speaker of the day. And we are very grateful to you, Tarveen, because you have such a busy schedule of teaching and coaching assignments that you have taken out the time for us. So Tarveen earned her master's degree in political science from Punjab University, and she's a certified NLP practitioner from UK. She's also certified in personal performance coaching from the Coaching Academy of London. And she's a girl who wears many hats. She has also been the finalist of Mrs. India 2019, where the Confident Tarveen got the Mrs. India Confident Award at the same program. And she is a woman achiever from the Punjab region. And she has received the Leadership Excellence Awards. So her topic for today is Pursuit of a Positive Mindset. A warm welcome, Tarveen. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nija. Thank you so much. I hope everybody can hear me loud and clear.
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Yes,
So,
ma'am. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So thank you so much, Dr. Nija. Thank you so much, Dr. Aarti, Dr. Pushpa, and Dr. Shobha for inviting me here today. And it's my pleasure to be with you, and it's my pleasure to contribute today. And जैसे कि, the Aarti ma'am in the beginning, she said that you really don't need somebody really big or really a big, influence to inspire you. Anybody can inspire you. There's a quote which says, when the student is ready, teacher will emerge. It's like you can even a book can turn around your entire life. So we can take that prerna, we can take that inspiration anywhere. It's only happens when we are ready. That's the key. We have to be ready to take it. I mean, today also, there are a lot of people would be listening to me, and I believe life is a choice. There could be people who would be just, entering, logging in and just, another program, let's Sunday morning. Why do we have to keep it so early? So there's the choices that we are making every second. And life is a choice, nothing else. That's my first point. When we talk about pursuit of mindset, why did I say pursuit of mindset? Because it's a continuous journey. It's not something that we achieve it and then we are done. No, it is like we have to do it daily. We have to find a reason to stay motivated daily. I mean, as ma'am said, Dr. Pushpa ma'am said that, there are a lot of reasons we could be negative. It's like feeding the right wolf, right? There's an old story. Which wolf are you feeding? Are you feeding the negativity or are you feeding the right one? And the one that you will feed will win always, right? So we all have negativity. We all have positivity. It's how we feeding the right one that will make all the difference. So thank you so much once again. Right, and making me part of this project, Prerna. I'm honored to be here. I am honored to be here today. So thank you so much, for making me part of this project, ma'am. And we'll quickly start. So, I'll just give people who are listening to me, there'll be about 20-25 minutes talk, and then we'll keep 5 minutes for any question and answers if you have, so that, I can personally answer a few questions depending on how much time we have. So, when we talk about mindset, now there are two things. I mean, you all are doctors, you're all well-researched people, you know how these things work, how we can keep mind and body, it's all connected. It's not that one is neglected and the other would be healthy. We have to keep both of them healthy. But as a life coach, as a, NLP practitioner, NLP is a branch of psychology and communication. We're going to touch upon a little bit on communication as well. If we keep our mind set, I think pretty much everything can be sorted. So that's what I believe. And it's a continuous journey. It is a continuous journey with, for our self-discipline. It is a continuous, promise to yourself for a self-determination, because every day, as I said, like we take a shower in the month of June every day and we feel fresh, or maybe sometimes we need it second time in Punjab, right? So we have to give a reason to feel motivated every day. Now, few reasons I would like to talk about why people feel negative most of the time, because it's very important. We need why, then only we can work. There is so much gyan available on YouTube these days. But it's all about execution. I mean, the things that I'm going to talk about, you all might have heard it before. And, reality would be same. The moment we finish this session after 8:30, 9 o'clock, we still have the same circumstances, we still have the same family, we still have the same people around us who we think make us negative sometime, because we blame. As a human being, we don't like to take the responsibility of our own behavior. We always telling, okay, because of that person, I am negative. Because of that didn't happen, I am negative. We never say that I am negative because of my own behavior, or I am suffering because of my own behavior. We always human being trying to put our suffering, and we give a reason to someone else, right? So now the first and the most important thing that I believe that people normally get negative is, there could be many, but I think having a purpose in your life is very, very important. When you do not have a goal, lack of direction, lack of not knowing where you're going. Let's say if I am getting up 8:30 in the morning, but I really don't know what to do with my day, there is no way I can stay positive. So finding a purpose is very, very important. Yes, there are other reasons to being negative, like you have some financial situations, toxic relationships around you, negative people around you, or maybe some childhood traumas. Now, state of mind is different and mindset is different. State of mind can be changed immediately. Within 10 minutes, you listen to a good music, or you have a good meal, or you go out with your family and you instantly change your state of mind. But mindset takes time. It can be changed. Now, few reasons can be worked out. There are few reasons where we need professional help. Like I do one-to-one session with my clients. I've been dealing with people who are dealing with depression, anxiety, and some self-behavior issues. So there are some things that we can deal with our own self, and there are some things which we need professional help, and there is no shame for asking for the help. That is very, very important. And now, when we talk about how we can actually achieve positive mindset. Again, as I said, there are a list of it. There are so much gyan available. So we'll start with a very good quote, which says that what you seek is seeking you. Rumi, he said, what you seek is seeking you. For example, if I'm seeking for a good health would seek me. I know sometimes it's difficult for me. You all are doctors here, and you have your own science, you have your own. So I know it's going to be a little challenging for me to talk about these things, but I'm an expert on law of attraction, and we believe that whatever that you're thinking and whatever then you're feeling, creating certain emotions and creating certain hormones in your body, which affects your physical health as well. So what you seek is also seeking you. So if I'm looking for a good relationship, I will find good relationship. But if I'm constantly seeking for a criticism, and if I have this faith, there's the two kind of mind, basically, a victim mindset and a winner's mindset. Now, victim mindset would always say, why it has happened with me? Why me? God is against me. Why it has happened? It always happens with me. If I would have been, probably born in different family, I would have happened this. So, it's like always feeling pity on your own self. But then there's another mindset which says, it's okay. Even 3 things did not go well in my life. That's fine. Let me focus on what's other 7 things going right in my life. And that's where this missing tile syndrome comes in. There's this missing tile syndrome, which says, the person who has this syndrome, no matter how good things are in their life, let's say 9 things are going right in their life, they're always going to focus on 1 which is not going right. So out of 10, they're going to focus on which is wrong. The 9 are good, but they're going to focus on which is missing. That's a missing tile syndrome. So we really need to, and now how we actually change it. That's the main point. That's what we are here for all. So the first and the most important, as I said, having a goal is very, very important. We cannot play a game without a goalpost. Same with the life. If we do not know what we're doing, and it's not that it has to align with your profession. No, sometimes it could be totally different, right? You all are doctors here, but you could still have a different purpose. I mean, that's your profession, but you could still have a different purpose in your life. So once you have that goal, Dr. Abdul Kalam, he said that सपने वो नहीं होते जो आपको रात को सपने वो नहीं है जो आप रात को देखते हैं. सपने वो होते हैं जो आपको रात को सोने नहीं देते. Those are the dreams we're talking about. So do you have something like that in your life? Something excites you, very, very important. And believe me, don't wait for it. Because the world is not going to come and tell you, okay, here is your dream, live it. No, you really have to find it. we really have to work on the execution and start with the small steps. So we're going to discuss those small steps here today. Gratitude. If you really have to turn around your energy, I'm a Reiki healer, and we talk about lot of energy stuff, how energy, can shift the entire, be of who you are. So it's all about shifting the energy, right? There are 5 things going wrong in my life, and 5 is right. Am I focusing on the 5 which is going right, or am I focusing all the time which is going wrong? Because the things that I'm going to focus will increase. That's a law of attraction. It's like whatever things that I'm going to give energy to, going to increase. So if I'm focusing on my child is not behaving in a certain way, that will increase. If I'm focusing on, no, I have these issues with my challenges with my children, but I can manage it. They are my own children. I can handle that, and then you start focusing on that. So gratitude. Practice. The first and the most important thing when we talk about tips here is, if somebody wants to take the notes, can take them. Gratitude. There's a book called Magic by Rhonda Byrne, which is amazing, has completely changed my life. I'm not the same person I was a few years ago. And it's called Magic, Rhonda Byrne. It talks about how gratitude, cultivate gratitude, begin and end your day with, writing 3 things that you're grateful for, anything. And I think we all have multiple things. We are alive, all body parts are working, and we are happy. I think if we start our day on a gratitude and focus on which things are going well in our life, it will then change the perspective. It's all about changing. वो कहते हैं ना, नजर का ऑपरेशन तो हो जाता है, नजरिए का नहीं होता है. और गेम सारी नजरिए बदलने की है. Mindset को change करना है. First, we have to start looking the world with the different lenses. We have to tell ourselves that everything is okay, right? I can handle it. Don't get too harsh on yourself. That's very, very important. So gratitude has really helped me. So what we can do is a technique. We can take a notebook, make a gratitude diary, and start writing in a simple way. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, God, for this. Thank you, God, for this. And then you see how magic start to happen. But again, magic works for those who believe in it, right? So you really have to believe. You have to create those feelings of being happy, right? And the second thing, you have to embrace the challenges. Life is full of challenges. Yes, the most important thing that we have to remember is that we are human beings. We have given the challenges because of some reasons. We have to embrace them. Again, there are 2 people. It's like resources working resourcefulness. It doesn't matter how many resources you have. I mean, I have best of the studio here, and we do talk. It is about how am I using those resources? We all have connection to, internet and social media, and now this AI coming in the picture, threatening people around us, right? It's how am I using? The same internet can be used in multiple ways. I can do for my brand promotions, or I can just sit there 2 hours, watch those Insta reels, and just completely waste my time. So choices, again, every minute God is giving us to make a different choices. What choices are we making then determine the quality of our life. We cannot blame anyone else here for our miseries. We are responsible for our own circumstances. We need to first believe in it. We need to take the full charge of it. I know the people must be thinking here, there's certain things which we cannot control, right? Financial things, or something, bad happened in the family, or some illness. But then do we have any other option? Rather than dealing with positivity. And you might have seen there's a whole research to it, scientific research to it. Medical science now has come to the conclusion that every emotion which is happening in your body is creating either illness or wellness in your body. There's a whole research to it, right? So now people have there's a team, which actually aligns with each other and say that. So there's a book called, You Can Heal Your Life, which is by Louise Hay. So she had actually listed a whole, the whole, you can say, the illnesses and by, A to Z, and then given the reason for it, and then given the affirmations to it, that how we can actually change it. So gratitude, embrace your challenges. Then very importantly, we surround ourselves with the people, who are positive. And now, must be people thinking that's not really in our hand. There are certain people we just have to be around with, and they really, pull our, and triggers, and we can't just control that. And I agree with you. There are certain people which you have to have in your life. And then you say that, okay, but then I'll share a story with you. Once, this guy who goes to Buddha's temple and then he's waiting outside to meet Lord Buddha. And it's been like 3 hours, 4 hours. He's not allowed to go inside. Why? Because Lord Buddha is meditating. So once he enters inside the temple and he started shouting at Lord Buddha and he says, don't you have any manners that, we are waiting for you, like that, and, blah, blah, blah. And then the Lord Buddha is still smiling. And then this guy says, with the curiosity, didn't it hurt you? I've been shouting at you and I've been like really being rude with you. And Lord Buddha is still smiling. And he says that, if you bring the gift to me and if I don't take it, it's your gift. I don't accept it, right? So how people is treating you, how people is dealing with you, how people is behaving with you, it has nothing to do with you. Believe me, they are just dealing with their own battles and wars, and they're just, again, they are just wearing the different lenses. So whatever they're going through, it has nothing to do with you unless you are actually doing something wrong. So you have to be clear with your own conscience, right? Now, physical fitness is very, very important. If we have to stay positive, we have to have a physical fitness and we have to have a balanced nutrition. Because when we exercise, the endorphins and serotonins, these hormones are released and we start feeling good and we start feeling more active about it. These are the natural hormones you all know, I don't have to mention, which are released in our body naturally and then we've been given, in a synthetic form in the pill. So we have to make an effort. Physical wellness is important. We need to have a balanced nutrition, which is very, very important to stay positive. And then positive self-talk. It is, we have a choice all the time saying, okay, why me? Why me? My life is a waste, or my life is not good, or I'm not happy. This is a conversation that we're doing to ourselves silently, sometimes loudly as well, right? We have to turn it around. So, here the communication comes in the picture. I'm going to touch upon a few points on communication, how communication, because NLP is all about, I'm a certified communication coach. NLP is about how we can, it's all about, the communication that we're going with our own self, doing that we own self would determine the quality of the communication we're going to have with people around us. Simple. There is never a mismatch. If I'm a peaceful person, there can never be a problem communicating with others. But if I have a war always with me, I would always have a problem dealing with people around me, right? So first you have to work on your self-conversation, which is very, very important. The way you talk to yourself matters a lot. It's like, it's like talking to God. It's like a conversation with God, because you are only listening, no one else. Let's say you're sitting in somebody's depressed, sitting in a room, feeling, really bad about their circumstances in life, and just having a conversation, that internal conversation, kya karu, kaise karu, life is a race. Ye sahi hota to aise hota. Gosh, we really have to turn it around. We really have to give it a pause. See, again, as I said in the beginning, it's not a milestone that we can achieve and we are done. That's why I've kept it pursuit, a journey. It's a journey of a continuous determination and self-discipline. We have to make a different choices. I could be sitting here watching something else, but I made a choice to be here today. We all have made a choice to be here today, right? There could be a different choice, right? Now, people we think who are lucky, we sometimes see somebody and they're doing really well in life and says, oh, he or she is very lucky. No, he or she, nobody is born lucky, right? We really don't know what kind of effort they're doing behind the scene to be in that position. They when somebody is watching 3 hours couple show, they could be but just sitting in a room reading a book. So we think that they're lucky. No, it's just a different choice. I've been reading this book and I would like to recommend to everybody. I just completely forgot the name of the author though, but it's called 4 Agreements. Dr. Morgan, I can share that later. And, so there are 4 agreements he talks about, and he says that we have to have as a human beings these 4 agreements about our life. It's like, the first and the most important agreement he talks about, be impeccable with your words. The words are very powerful. The words that you say to yourself and the words that you're telling the world around you, be very, very impeccable, because it can either turn into your life a curse. You can magically create your life, a curse or a heaven. That's what he says, And the second thing he talks about, never take anything personally. Never. Even somebody's coming and giving you a nice compliment, don't take it personally, because that day that person was in a good mood. It has nothing to do with you mainly, right? The same person could be just completely ignored you in a public, setting, and you say, "Oh, what happened to that? I mean, she or he was very nice to me a couple of days ago," right? So don't take anything personally. Can help you to keep in a lot of balance. Number 3, he says that don't make assumptions. We all human beings will make assumptions about our partners, about our children, about relations, about our workers, about our employees. We just don't say, we just make assumption. Okay, अच्छा ऐसा हुआ होगा, अच्छा उसने ऐसा सोचा होगा, अच्छा शायद ऐसा हुआ होगा, काश ये सोच लेता, we are going through, so ask for the help. If you are not clear about certain things, ask it. It's difficult, it's a little bold, but you need to ask it rather than making an assumption. The 4th one is do your best. In one day, we have certain moods. 1 minute we are feeling good. The second minute we are, especially women, we all have those mood swings. I really have no clue. I haven't done any research on this topic that is it actually happens medically that we all go through PMS, or we already really have, is it actually happens, or is just, I have no clue. But I think we all can deal with it if we just make a conscious effort. Whenever you're feeling, वो कहते हैं ना कि जब मूड सही नहीं है तो चुप रहो, और अगर अच्छा है तो बात करो. There's a book called 48 Laws of Power, which, they talk about your tongue, that its tongue is a beast. It can give you a really, get you really good relationship with others, but it can just put you in hell, if you're not control over it. So all this thing, now we're going to quickly touch about the communication skills, how communication can help to, achieve positive mindset, help us to stay in balance. Let's say there's a situation, there's a toxic relationship, and you are suffering because every time you feel that you could not express it, every time you feel that you wanted to say something, but, I just could not, say what I wanted to say. So expressing emotion is very, very important. That keeps you in a good mental and physical health. If that relationship is important for you, there's certain people, there's certain relationship where you don't care. Okay, somebody has said to you, okay, it doesn't matter because that person or that relationship is not important to you. But when it is an important relationship, bottling up emotions can lead to stress. Do not do that. You have to find a constructive way to express it. I know people would have a question, नहीं हो ही नहीं सकता, वो इंसान सुनता ही नहीं है, कैसे करें? नहीं, वो मतलब possible ही नहीं है, वो सिर्फ अपने ही बोलता है. We all have those situations where you're thinking, nahi, possible ही नहीं है इस बंदे से ये बात करनी, कैसे? The moment you say something, it's just going to burst. There are ways. I have a communication class which runs for 3 days. We have where we talk about your body language, your body signs. We talk about how words are important. There's a Harvard Business School research which says that the words are only 7%, which is shocking. We talk about learning English and blah, and the words are only 7%. 58% is your body language, and 55% is your body language, as 38% is your voice tone. So it doesn't matter what you say. What matters is how you're saying it. And then we say, अच्छा, मैंने तो इसे कुछ कहा ही नहीं, पता नहीं इनको गुस्सा क्यों आ जाता है, मैंने तो कुछ बोला ही नहीं है. Don't you know how much? No. It's not about आपने क्या बोला है. It is about आप कैसे बोल रहे हैं. It is about आपकी body language क्या हो रही है, आपके hand movements क्या हैं, आपके, so it's all. So the research says that if you're talking to your audience, let's say, I come in this room, I'll give an example. I come in this room and then say, good morning, my name is Tarveen, and I'm a motivational speaker. Today I'm going to motivate you. See, I can see people laughing, right? Because my body language is not matching with what I'm saying. So you're going to listen to my body language, and thoughts are going, Tarveen, apne aap ko sambhalo, hame baad mein motivate karna, right? On the other side, I come in this room and say, hello, everybody. My name is Tarveen, and I'm really depressed. No, you're kidding around with us, right? So there's a research which I said says, if your body language and your words are not matching, the audience is going to listen to your body language. Simple. That's why sometimes we don't need words to express ourselves. So work on your communication. And when we talk about communication, it's important to have the active listening also. It's not always about talking in relationships. Sometimes people need to heard. Sometimes we are not listening. Sometimes we are the one who are creating the entire chaos. We need to take the blame of our own sufferings. We need to take the blame of our own flaws as well. Nobody is perfect, you know. I am standing here talking about this motivation. I have my own challenges. I am not all the time positive and more. I sometimes feel, what next? What am I doing with my life? But again, then you have to sit. It's like, it's a constant dose of motivation. There are a lot of research which has now said that human brain is designed to stay negative. That's how it stayed. And that is the reason, we desire for something, we get it, we stay happy for a few days, and then what? We're in the same position, right? I was desiring for this car to buy, from last 5 years. I got the car for the 1 month. I'm really happy about the car. And then after 1 month, it's another car for me. I'm looking for something new. That's who we are, right? We should not decline it. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But in that process, in that journey, in that pursuit, we have to stay positive. We have to make a conscious choices to be positive. Conflict resolution and assertive communication, how assertive communication can help you to stay positive. We have to learn to say no to things, no to people. Assertively, there's a very thin line between being aggressive and being assertive. Assertive is, yes, you want to say certain things and you're very sure about it. Aggressive is just crossing the line and start shouting. So you have to be very careful crossing between these two lines. So being assertive and saying no to things is very, very important. Let's say a friend of mine has called me and I really don't want that, that coffee date, or I really don't want to go out with her. But the friend is also important to me. I have to learn the way no to it. I just can't take too much burden, because if I'm saying yes, just because what would other person would say, I'm eventually going to feel stressed. So this is again, very, very important thing. You have to learn the way nicely to say no to people, no to your partner, no to your children, no to your family around if you're not doing it. And you will have it once you have those, language matching, and the body language, people would not take it personally. I can tell you, try this today. There are issues with our own selves as well. We always can't blame others for our suffering, right? I would say that again and again. And then conflict resolutions. How we can do conflict resolutions. I mean, again, as I said, there's a whole workshop on it. But for, the first important thing when we are trying to resolve a conflict, or we are a part of conflict, sometimes there is conflict. Like nowadays, what's happening in my house is, I have two daughters, 9 and 12, and I'm like a referee all the time between them. And it's like continues, that fight going on. And I'm trying like, one ek ko sunana hai to dusra rus raha hai, dusra mana hai to wo naraz ho raha hai. It's like, continuously I'm referee. And sometimes I just give up. I said, okay, I can't deal with it. But then I retell I'm the leader. I have to deal with it. So in that situation, if you are a part of conflict, listening would really help. Let's say if somebody is really angry with you coming, I would say just in that particular moment, because you are the one who's listening to this session, not anybody else, right? So I can only tell you. Then people say, हम ही क्यों हमेशा सुने? ऐसे तो वो उनका दिमाग पे उनका सिर पे चढ़ जाता है. उनको लगता है कि हम बोल ही नहीं. No. If you are listening, you're more powerful. You are more powerful. That's why you have that strength to listen. And as a woman, again, this session is for general. There are some male, people are also listening, but I would say that women are inherently strong, have gone through numerous physical, emotional, social transition in their lives. Everything, from child to, menstruation and getting married and sending to the hospitals and then coming and living with a different family, then having a childbirth and then going back to this again. And I think we are inherently strong. There is no doubt about it. And that is the reason maybe God has given us more challenges, but we have to embrace those challenges. We don't have any other option, do we? No. So why not do it positively? Why not do it? Because we are giver. We are, we have been given this role to give to the society. So we have to embrace those challenges. And, it's a lifelong learning. every day. If you look at it, let's say, if a person is behaving let's say, when I was 20, and if I was behaving in a certain manner at the age of 20, now I'm 45. If I'm still behaving the same manner, it means that I haven't lived those 25 years. I've just wasted. So all your competition has to be just you. These things could sound sometimes too bookish and no, but these are the only things. Believe me, we need to execute on them. So if I can stand, let's say I take one behavior of mine, I say, I'm not happy with Tarveen, this is something that you should change. Whatever it is, you need to tell yourself, you need to first recognize it. Knowing is the first step. If I don't agree with my flaws, how would I change it? If I say, let's say, मुझे गुस्सा बहुत आता है, but अगर मैं मानूंगी नहीं कि मुझे गुस्सा आता है, how am I going to change it? No, there's no hope, right? First, I have to acknowledge, yes, there is something to be changed. Let me do it. And then make a step. Today, I'm a better person than I was yesterday. Maybe कल मैंने react किया था, उस बंदे ने मुझे ऐसा बोला, मैंने react, आज मैंने नहीं किया. Back to myself. Because I am working on myself, and that's the only thing I can do. You cannot change the circumstances. You cannot change people around you. The only thing and the only person you can change is you. And when you take that responsibility, वो कहते हैं ना, नजर को बदलोगे तो नजारे बदल जाएंगे. सपनों नजर को, I had this line right somewhere. नजर को बदलोगे तो नजारे बदल जाएंगे, सपनों को बदलोगे तो सितारे बदल जाएंगे, कश्तियां बदलने से कुछ नहीं होगा, दिशाओं को बदलोगे तो किनारे बदल जाएंगे. So thank you. So it's like, we have to find a direction, and when we have a right direction, when we make right choices, things will change. I mean, some things cannot be explained, but I have experienced in my own life, magically things start to change when you make different choices, when you make different, decisions in life. They are difficult sometimes, but you have to make it because it's your life. And it's one life. There are different methodologies about being, and everybody has their own opinions about karmas and illusions, and life is just a journey. And I think everybody, whosoever is operating with their belief, they're right. We are no one to condemn their belief and put our own. But I think if we take one day as a challenge, okay, आज का दिन अच्छा बीतना चाहिए, कल का कल देखेंगे. Living in the now, that's my last point I'm going to talk about. How important to live in the now, because that's all we have. There's nothing else. It's, life is a series of moments. We need to cherish the present without the dwelling upon the regrets from the past or the anxieties of the future. As you all listening to my words, it's 8:40, 4th June, 2023. Listen to me again, please. Take a deep breath in. Everybody, wherever you are, we're just about to finish. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Once more, take another deep breath in. And be in this moment. Be here, please, just for a few seconds. I know we all have to run back. It's okay. Everything is waiting. Nothing is changing. We're all there. Now, if you're listening to my words, 4th June, 2023, 8:40 is never going to come back in your life again. So that's the power of this moment. And whatever that we have to achieve, whatever that we have, is this moment. There's nothing going to happen if you're worrying about the past or the future. We're only going to ruin our present. I know it's difficult. It's very difficult, especially for a woman to live in a present. Because right now I'm here, my daughter is going to the trip on Shimla, and I still a bit of mind is there. She hasn't called me since morning, but I have to. It's okay. Some things we have to let go of. Control is we women, we are born, controlling. We have to let go a little bit of control and trust the universe and trust the higher power who has created us and, who has, put us here where we are today. We are not here by chance. Nothing is happening by coincidence. No, nothing works on coincidence. It's all been aligned. So being in alignment is very, very important. When we say alignment with your source. Source is God, universe, whosoever you think is your strength power. Stay in alignment, because when you're in alignment with that source, you can never be negative. And that's your guidance system. You can check it. If you're happy, you are in control. If you're sad, you're out of alignment. We call it getting into the vortex. Vortex means that you're being in that good, high aligned mood, and you're just going high and high, but then there is a deep turn when you go down. So your emotions are your guidance system. A depressed person can never look up and sit like a confident. That person has to look down. Body language. A cheerful person can never sit in a one place and just looking down and sitting like this. No, your body is telling you. I did this firewalk in 2007 with Anthony Robbins when we did this journey of self-discovery. And it was hard to believe that people could actually walk on fire without burning their feet. But we did it. Not even a blister we've had it. How would we, say, once we are doing something in the kitchen and the little burn can hurt us, right? But here we are training a mind. So it's a mind-body connection. If your body is not listening, focus in your mind. If your mind is not listening, focus on your body. That's how we have to keep the balance. Let's say you really are in a bad mood someday, put a good clothes, have a nice coffee, go out, break the state. In NLP, we say it, break the state. It really helps you to stay positive. Going in that state would not help. We human being, we have this nature. Bura feel ho raha hai aur bura feel karo. We start making clubs. We have these people we talk, teko pata hai meri life mein kitni problems hai. तुझे पता है मेरी लाइफ में कितनी मिजरी है तेरी तो कुछ भी नहीं है तू मेरी सुन मेरी तेरे से 4 गुना ज्यादा है what we're doing we're making that spiral and then in the end of the day we say it's a really bad day अच्छा Tuesday था आज तो पंडित ने कहा ही था बड़ा गलत है no it's all controlling it's like director says there's a one bad thing happened in the morning cut start again you have to be conscious about it. Something didn't go well in the morning, you just can't say, okay, mujhe pura din hi aise rehna. No, you can change it right away. Just go out. You have an argument, just leave it. Leave that argument and go out. You don't really have to be part of that argument. But kyun hote hain? Ego hai hamari. Answer bhi to karna hai. Kaise na ho ki wo kuch keh raha hai aur main chup hu? No. Different choices we have to make. This talk can go for hours and hours and hours. I think we're already a little behind, the time. And so I would just like to say thank you to everybody for letting me being here and be open. If we have anybody question, we can talk about it. The things that, somebody wants to discuss. And, my few lines, my very, very favorite lines, people say it's too late now. I'm 45, I'm 50, I'm 60. Theek hai, beet gayi, baat gayi, ab jaisa chal raha hai, theek hai. No. For those people, I would like to say, manzilein mil hi jayengi, chahe bhatakte hue hi sahi. Manzilein mil hi jayengi, chahe bhatakte hue hi sahi. Gumrah to wo hain, jo ghar se nikle hi nahi.
Very good. Beautiful.
Thank you. So taking a first step is very, very important. Wherever you are, never ever feel that you're too late. No. We are never late. We all have those time when we have to make a different decisions. And every day is a new day. Make different choices, step by step. Even if you're better than yesterday, just 1%, you're a good person. That's it. You're answerable to your own self and to your higher self and to God, nobody else. And if you know that you're doing right, your conscience is clear, you are sorted. That's all I would like to say today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tarveen. Nirja,
Thank you,
can
ma'am.
I say a few words, Nirja?
Yeah.
Yeah, with your permission. So I think we owe a lot of thanks to Mrs. Tarveen Kaur for joining us all in the morning and giving us this beautiful message of positivity at a time when menopausal women who are getting on in years, they require this kind of introspection at the time that they are maximally multitasking in their lives. I think it becomes multiplicative as we grow older. It never becomes less our responsibility.
Absolutely.
Be it professional or be it personal. So I think you did say that we need to be kind to ourselves. You did say that we must count our blessings every day. You did say that we need to develop more communication skills, the listening part of it, and decrease the reaction part of it, Tarveen. That is beautiful, I think. And life is a matter of perspective. So try to see the bright side of everything. Let go of situations, never compare, and change your direction, for the better. that will change so many things. So
It
thank
will,
you,
yeah.
Aarti and Dr. Pushpa, for giving us this platform to deliberate. And Neerja, your choice of speaker is, as always, very brilliant. There is one question which I will pose before I stop talking and hand over to Neerja and others. Dr. Nupur Bajpai has asked, how can we do meditation? And she feels that she does not understand how to meditate.
Okay, to be very honest, even till date, I'm knowing how to meditate because, the person who's really active and the person who's giver, the person who actually have desire a lot to do for the society and other, it's difficult for them to slow down and to meditate, believe me. And for me, Pushpaji, whosoever is, who has asked me this question, sorry?
Bajpai.
Dr. Nupur Bajpai.
Okay, Dr. Bajpai, so this is, meditation is something you define basically. I know there is a certain way of doing meditation, sitting on a, probably a couch or just being still. But for me, I think the first step you can start for a meditation, what I know, there could be 100 of other ways of doing it and better ways of doing it. But what I feel, because it was difficult for me to live in the now. I'm a person who's always like, want to do something. And so I had to slow down because it started affecting my own health, right? I realized that, no, it's time. I have to slow down. So I think living in the now is the first step for a mindfulness meditation. And what is meditation? Meditation is about being still, being in the living, being grateful for who you are, and just try to close and try to shut everything around you. So first step, what you can do is, Dr. Bajpai, maybe you can just start with a guided meditation. That's how I started. So you can put a music on where somebody is guiding with a lot of audios and a lot of videos available. You can just put a 15 minutes audio or for 15 minutes, guided meditation and just sit there and just listen and just act whatever they are guiding you. That's the first step to do it. The second step is start with small timings. Don't just try and do it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, just maybe 1 minute, put a timer on and try that. Is 1 minute, मैंने कुछ नहीं बोलना है, आंखें बंद करनी है, and just have to focus between here. It's like, our crown chakra. We have to focus here because this is where we see, this is where we visual, this is where we see whatever is coming to us. So just try and focus on your crown chakra and try to, just shut down all the thoughts. But even if the thoughts are coming, don't disrespect them. Let them come. It's okay. These are your thoughts. You have to own them. You have to belong to these thoughts. You just can't say, no. Because the more you will resist, the more these thoughts will come. So let it be, whatever is coming. And between that chaos, I'm telling you, you would have so much realization. The things will come to you, which you probably have forgotten. Like I had to thank somebody, and I was just doing meditation 4 days ago, and I had to thank a particular person, a teacher of my daughter, and I completely forgot. It has been like 6 months. So the moment I got up from that, and that thought emerged to me in that particular moment. The moment I called that person and I said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to call you. And, so do not eat whatever thoughts that coming to you. These are your own thoughts. You have to own them. You have to belong them. And then what is right, you keep it. What is wrong, you slowly release it. That's how I do it. And then I do Reiki, and then I do music therapy. I do, so the more you're going to resist, 15 minute mujhe kuch nahi dikhna chahiye aur kuch nahi, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's not going
to.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. Really,
Thank
really
you, Lisa.
From a very beautiful person. I think we will have another talk on we have already heard how to look beautiful from within. So how to look beautiful and presentable to ourselves.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's nothing to do with making over, but it's all how you are going to.
Yes, self-confidence, filling your own cup. Yeah. Yes, very important, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We will move on to our second talk. And for that, we have Dr. Kanika Dhawan, who is a brilliant person. She's trained at PGI Chandigarh, a very prestigious institute of our country. And she's a professional who goes beyond the dryness of any speciality. And she's getting expertise in other related fields like neurodevelopmental techniques. And she's also a therapeutic taping practitioner, which is excellent, because in cases where you are unable to do certain, you have to do something, but you have this pain. So she will tape you up with tapes, and she's doing dry cupping and dry needling and myofascial release. Today, we have invited her to deliver a talk on how to manage lumbar canal stenosis and how to manage sciatica and its pains by exercises. So, welcome, Kanika. Over to you.
Good morning, everyone, participants and the attendees. And really heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Nija for having me today at this platform. And I think this is really a great initiative by Indian Menopause Society. These two topics are really very relevant and important, especially in menopause women. And for the clinicians like you who have to stand long standing hours while they're performing surgeries, so they feel discomfort. And when to talk about these two topics, basically, so there comes a thing that we always are confused where to start with. Do we need to see an orthopedician? We need to see a neurophysician? We need to see a physiotherapist? And I really felt very motivated after Mrs. Tarveen's speech. And I think today is the day when I'll have a positive mindset. I need to make some changes in my life as well. So there is a one basic approach that I do for these two topics. We call it extension bias and flexion bias. I'll be talking about the details later on, but to start with, there is an approach of extension bias and flexion bias. What we're talking about right now is that if patient approaches me and he or she is feeling comfortable flexing in positions where he or she is maybe bending her knee while walking or while performing daily activities, or maybe flexing. So that approach is basically for the lumbar spinal stenosis. That is a case where patient is going to feel more comfortable. Whereas in this sciatica pain, there can be both approaches. The patient can feel better in the extension exercises as well as in the flexion exercises. So I'll be starting with the sciatica. So there is a relationship between lumbar spinal stenosis and sciatica. Basically, sciatica can be caused by lumbar spinal stenosis as well. So when we talk about nerve root irritation at the lumbar level, due to its reduction in the spinal canal size, we call it lumbar spinal stenosis. But if there is any kind of symptoms produced in your lower, in your back or your leg extremities, so we call it sciatica. It can be due to nerve irritation or the compression of sciatic nerve. So now I'm starting with sciatica. So sciatica is basically a set of symptoms in which the patient will experience lot of numbness, paresthesia, and pain in its lower extremities. And this sciatic nerve is basically the longest and thickest nerve in our body. Its nerve roots are originating from L4 till S3, and it supplies the posterior back of our legs, and it can indirectly supply to the leg and dorsal aspect of our foot. So sciatic nerve, when we talk about the causes, these can be degenerative. Let's talk about, again, like I said, spinal canal stenosis. It can cause sciatica. It can be due to compression disorders, like if suppose there is any tumor, if there is any kind of hematoma, if there is any kind of abscess in your gluteal region, it can cause suppression or compression of the sciatic nerve. Next can be due to arthropathy. These can be because of malpositioning of the body. Not in females, but actually males have the tendency that they always put wallet in their back pockets. They always put phones in their back pockets. And while they're sitting in an upright position, so there is a tendency that the nerve can be compressed and you can feel or experience pain. And then in pregnant women, we see sciatica, in which the weight of the fetus is very much unbearable for the pregnant woman while she is in sitting posture. The next can be when you're sitting on a hard surface. So basically, in sciatica, you will feel the patient complaining about the symptoms and signs in its due course. So if I talk about its courses, it enters into the gluteal region. It will enter into the pelvis region. from pelvis, it is actually present anterior to the piriformis. So here is a tendency that it can be inferred between the piriformis heads, and this condition is basically known as piriformis syndrome. So when we'll talk about the management part, we'll talk that in these kind of syndromes, what we have to do is we can do the dry needling for the part, we can stretch the piriformis, and there will be relief from the symptoms. Next can be when it enters the gluteal part. Here in gluteal part, it lies posterior to the muscles that actually rotate your hip externally. So again, here is a tendency that it can be compressed somewhere. Then it will enter and run vertically till the apex of the popliteal fossa, where popliteal fossa is basically back of your knee. And just starting at the back of your knee, it will further divide into two distal nerves. So again, at the popliteal fossa, it can be again compressed. The last reason that I recall is sciatic neuritis. In this, there will be inflammation around the myelin sheath that can cause little bit of discomfort. So now if we talk about the clinical features of sciatica, that the patient is coming to me and he and she is experiencing, the first and most thing will be back pain. And it will be mainly one-sided back pain, generally in the region of upper buttocks. The next thing will be unilateral leg symptoms. And there will be tingling, burning and numbing sensation. Paresthesia may or may not be present. When I'll be examining, I'll see some motor and sensory changes. There can be weakness of hamstrings. And while talking about the sensory changes, again, there can be diminished light touch, proprioception, diminished vibration, etc. And then on examination, again, I can see that the ankle jerk reflexes are a little bit diminished. So apart from this, now I'll talking about the management part. So again, like from the at the start, we were talking about the extension and flexion bias. So in this case, I'll be experiencing both of the patients. So before we actually perform any kind of exercises, nowadays we all are very technologically savvy, and we get bored very easily when we are told to do something or any kind of particular set of exercises. We tend to incorporate ourselves into, like, say, aquatic therapies, our Pilates practitioner, our gym instructor, our yoga therapeutic exercises. So what these all do is that they actually confuse you. But to start with, there are only 4 to 5 basic exercises that are going to help you with the same. So for the management part, it again can be divided into 2 stages, acute and chronic. Rest is never advisable in the case of sciatica. So for the acute part, the first thing you have to try is to manage your pain. Pain can be managed by drugs, or if you talk about the physical therapy modalities like ultrasonic massages or laser therapies, or let's say TENS. So TENS is kind of electrical stimulation. Next thing can be prevention of edema. So while you are sleeping, you can always elevate your limbs. You can give a effleurage massage. You can wear compression stockings. And next is that we have to maintain the properties of muscle. For that, we can use any kind of electrical stimulation that will actually artificially contract your muscle and help release the extra toxins out of the body or from that muscle spastic area. Next thing we can do is use some assistive devices like lumbar belts, lumbar corsets, or ankle foot orthosis while you're walking. Now I'll be talking about the lumbar spinal stenosis. It basically happens because of there is reduction in the spinal canal size. And again, the symptoms that will be felt are there will be heaviness in your lower limbs, there will be weakness. Again, the paresthesia may or may not be present. Its etiology can be divided into 2 categories. Primarily, that can be congenital in the conditions like achondroplastic graphies, or maybe during the postnatal development. Secondary changes can be due to any kind of local infection, due to trauma, due to any kind of surgeries, or maybe a metabolic that can be due to fluorosis or Paget's disease, etc. So again, for the lumbar region, if I talk, the patient is always going to come to me complaining about the heaviness in the legs. There is a very typical characteristic of the lumbar spinal stenosis called as simian stance. In that, the patient while walking will experience extreme pain in its legs. And to avoid that, actually, he will adopt a posture that is forward bending posture. And along with that, he or she will walk always flexing knee and hip. So for its management part, if we say, and if we go into the little bit of pathology of lumbar canal stenosis, what basically happens is that there is degeneration of intervertebral disc. Like we have talked, it falls under the category of degeneration. There will be degeneration at the level of lumbar vertebrae that will cause instability. The instability at the joints will further cause the hypermobility of joints. That will further cause a joint tightness. Sometimes joints can be ankylosed, further causing the stenosis. And because of the stenosis, there can be some vascular compromise to the nerve vessels also. So the patient might feel neurogenic claudication. That again can be explained by the patient as heaviness or weakness in the legs. So if I'll combine both of the topics, the categories of exercises that I'll be prescribing is lumbar flexion exercises and lumbar extension exercises. For both of the things, the most important thing to keep in mind is we should always consult a physiotherapist rather than seeing videos online. Because I've seen many patients, they go through online videos, then they come to me and they'll tell me that, oh, okay, I was doing this exercise and I think my pain has exaggerated. The second point, when you keep it in mind, is every time you are exercising, you should keep a hot pack. It may be handy, or it can be if you're at home or maybe in a clinical setup. You always give some warm heat to the structures before you actually start exercising. That will help you to release the pain and help you to do the better set of exercises. So I think before I start with the videos, so do we have any kind of questions before I start with the demo?
No, I think please proceed with the demo.
Okay, so I'll be playing some videos. Actually, those videos are very short and I'll be talking simultaneously. So there may be instances that video will get over before I'm done with my speech. So I'll start sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone now.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
So to start with, you can see that I'm lying down supine. Here, what I have to do is I'll flex my hip and knee at 90 degrees and I'll stretch it towards my chest. So I'll pause it here for a moment. So exercises where we have to do stretching like this, like holding your leg and bringing it towards your chest. The most important thing to consider is that I should never be holding the knee from the upwards. Suppose कि अगर आपको osteoarthritis है or maybe you're suffering from any inflammatory condition like rheumatoid arthritis, तो इसमें आपका जो पेन है वो और ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगा. अगर आप नी को उसके ऊपर से पकड़ेंगे तो pain is obviously going to increase. So this is the basic thing that whenever you're doing these kind of exercises, you need to hold your leg and knee by putting the hands like I've just shown. I'll play the video. So I can hold it here for 30 seconds. Then I'll repeat the same for the another leg. I'll stretch it towards me. I'll hold it here for 30 seconds and relax. The next set of exercise can be flexing both legs at the same time, holding them and stretching. In this, you have to make sure that your pelvis is off the ground, and then relax. So here, what I'm doing is I'm actually basically flexing my lumbar. So before you do this exercise, if you're suffering from any knee condition, this is not preferable for you. But if you think you can do it easily, you can do it. You can perform it. So what here I'm doing is I'm in half kneeling position. I'll place my buttocks over my feet. Now here I'm going to stretch my arms as much as I can. And then I'll slowly bend towards the ground. The main thing to be kept in mind is when you are doing the stretching exercises, The repetitions can be 3 to 5, but you have to hold it there for 30 seconds. So now I'm playing the next video. So here what I'm basically doing is I'll be extending my lumbar region. I'm here on my shoulder and arms, 90 degrees to the body. I have to extend my neck. I'll feel pressure on the lower lumbar region here. I'll hold it for 10 seconds and then relax. I can further advance into the next position that I'll completely come over my arms. I'll show you like this. This is the next advanced stage. Again, you have to hold it for 10 seconds and then you'll relax. Here, what I'm doing is that I'm in standing position, placing my hands over this waistline, again extending my neck and spine. I'll be holding it off for 10 seconds and repeat it for 10 times. Next exercise here I'm doing is, so basically before I start this video, I think agar hum kisi cheez ko bolte hain Ramban. So in my clinical experience, I've seen this exercise to be Ramban for sciatic nerve. What I'm doing here is that I'll be mobilizing it. There's a thing called sciatic nerve mobilization. Actually, I've placed a towel and it was a little bit matching to my top, so you cannot see. But you have to place towel that can be 6 to 10 inches in length below your waistline. What I'm doing is that I have to lie down supine. The affected part, the leg which I'm experiencing the most painful, should be kept upwards. It should be facing upwards. Now I'll start the video for you. I'll flex the lower limb for the better stability. I'll dorsal flex the foot. Yeah, so here I have flexed the lower leg for the stability so that you might not be doing the inward motions. Now I'll bring the leg forward into the transverse plane, hold it here for 30 seconds and go back. So in this exercise, you're going to feel the stretch along your leg. The video has been paused, I'll play it again. And in this, the thing that is very important, it should not be beyond your pain. And it can only be performed into the chronic stages, because if you'll perform the sciatic nerve mobilization in acute stage, like I've talked about sciatic neuritis, if you're suffering from that, the nerve can be into the recovery phase. So if there is any scarring, you are actually going to break it. So healing process can be slowed down. So you have to make sure you're doing this into the chronic stage only, basically after 2 weeks setting of the symptoms. Now I'll be playing the next video. So here what I'm doing is I'm doing dynamic exercises for my stomach. Abdominals have played very important part in low back exercises. There is a very great emphasis on strengthening your lower abdominals. So what here I'm doing is you have to place hands at 45 degrees on your, just above the pelvis on your rectus abdominis. You have to feel it and then you have to inhale deeply and exhale. And along with that, you have to contract your abdominal muscles and your obliques, lateral muscles. So this is commonly known as abdominal bracing. If you think this is a little bit hard, you can do just tummy tuck in, simple. What you have to do is you have to inhale, you have to tuck your tummy in and then exhale. I'll be pausing the video here for a moment. There are some researches that show that if you're doing any kind of abdominal exercise, mainly for lumbar spinal stenosis, if you're holding your breath, like your therapist has, instructed you that you have to hold your breath, or you have to tummy tuck, you have to do the tummy tucks and hold it for 10 seconds. But it doesn't mean you have to hold your breath. You need to keep counting, because if you're holding your breath, you are going to activate Valsalva maneuver. In that, we are going to close our glottis and there will be increased abdominal pressure that will further increase your back painage. So to avoid this, you need to keep counting like 1, 2, 3, and then relax. So I'm playing it again. This further can be modified into the dynamic part, where you can lift your one leg, bring it towards your body, and then relax. So like this, I'm flexing my both hip and knee, and then relax. Bring it back, relax. While you're doing this, you have to make sure that you are actually incorporating your abdominals into this. Apart from creating a force from your hips or maybe lower back, you need to contract your abdominals simultaneously. Next exercise that I'll be performing is cross cycling. This is again for the abdominals. You can do this very easily. You can hold it again here for 30 seconds or as much as you can. While you're performing any exercise, pain cannot be an issue. So if you're experiencing pain, so you need to slow down, you need to cut down that exercise, or maybe you need to go and talk to a therapist. That can be modified into any further position. So here, relaxing again. Next exercise is, this is basically static lumbar extension exercise. What I'm doing is, I'm into prone position. I'm lifting one leg and holding it there for a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and then come back to the normal position. This again can be further modified. Instead of lifting one leg, you can lift both of the legs simultaneously. But you have to keep one thing in your mind is that your neck should be in extension. So for this position, I've kept my hands like this under my chin to provide any stability, and then performing the exercise. So this is basically dynamic lumbar extension exercises. So I'm into the quadruped position. I lift my one leg, hold it there for a few seconds, and then come back. I'll perform the same for the other leg. Bring it, stretch it fully, come back. I'll repeat it with the right hand, and then with the left hand. I'll bring it in air, hold it here for 10 seconds, and then come back. So this is basically very basic to start with. If you want to modify or take it into the advanced stages, what you can do is simultaneously, like if you're lifting your right leg, you can lift the left arm along with it. So it will help you with the things like better proprioception, better balancing. And while you're performing this, you have to tuck your tummy in. Your abdominals should be contracted. They should be actively contracted in this. So I'm playing the next video. So before I start this video, it is very important to know that isometric exercises nowadays are very much overlooked. I think that is a very basic and very important to be emphasized on, because those can be done with least functional mobility, and it will provide you maximum efforts and maximum changes in your muscles can be seen. They're also known as muscle setting exercises. So what here I'm doing is that I've flexed my hip and knee. My ankle should be on the ground or the mat. Then I'll be pressing my ankle against the ground. So here, what is that I'll feel the straight, I'll feel the contraction in my gluteus, my thigh, my hamstrings, and my legs simultaneously. So this one exercise is enough to do all the isometric exercises for your lower limb, saving your time. So I think that's all for with the exercises part. I think exercises were clear.
Yeah, they were clear and they were very beautiful. And what a lot of effort you have done to actually show us all these exercises. And it's always nice to have a trained person tell us all this thing. So, because say when you go for yoga, that is for the entire people who are doing that yoga, but you have a particular problem. So when you are into any yoga program or anything, then you know that what you have shown today, what Dr. Kanika has shown, that is what I can do. So the rest for those exercises, you can stay still in your yoga program and continue to do what you have learned today.
I think if you're going to join any kind of group exercises, let's say Pilates exercises, yoga exercises, maybe aquatic therapy, swimming or so. So I think you should talk to your trainer beforehand. You see, I have this condition and I cannot perform these set of exercises. So what they can do is they can make you a different set of yoga positions. And actually, there are a lot of patients who come to me and ask me, ma'am, do you think that I can stop these yoga exercises? So I don't think there is any need to stop yoga. because our body is very sacred, and I think we know our body best than anyone else can. So while you're performing any kind of exercise, any kind of position in yoga, so you can feel, you yourself know that, are you feeling any better? Is it increasing any pain? And most important, when we talk about the middle-aged person, or in the post-menopausal women, the osteoarthritic knee, or it may be due to any other inflammatory condition, is very common. So what we in yoga are basically, there can be some positions where your knees are crushing against the ground, and that will further increase your symptoms rather than decreasing it. So we ourselves can be vigilant in times. We should never ignore the symptoms, or the signs the body is telling. We should always be in balance with that.
Yeah. Actually, the take home message here is that whenever you have any problem, so you discuss with your physiotherapist that this is like, for me, I do yoga 3 times in a week. But those postures which are not good for my particular condition, in those I stay still, or I do what you have shown today. So
Yes.
it's good to take opinion from the physiotherapist and continue to do your yoga program with an alertness, not to do some and to do more of something else. So
Yes.
being in touch with a physiotherapist is very important. And I thank you, Shobha. Yeah. Shobha, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think you have pretty much summed it so very well. Kanika,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think I'm sorry, I just used the headphone. Yeah, I think women with chronic musculoskeletal problems should look forward to some kind of a very dynamic schedule where they should look towards response of their body to the exercises that they are doing and discuss it with the physiotherapist, because I
Yeah.
often come across complaints that we started this particular thing and it has led to more problems, right? So I think that the constant, as Nirja has very well said, that be in constant touch with the physiotherapist. I think physiotherapy is a huge role in musculoskeletal problems of elderly women, of menopausal, even younger women who take up sports activities. I think today there is a lot of inclination towards cycling, swimming, and so many other sports activities. So people need to be careful. They need to protect their joints, and they also need to know that as we grow older, there is osteoporosis, there is osteopenia, and that really
Yes.
changes the picture a lot. So,
Yes.
and it actually becomes, not just exercise, but also replacement of the calcium supplements, the dietary calcium intake, other
Yes.
control of other comorbid conditions, for example, hypothyroidism, chronic steroid intake. These are the ones which impact musculoskeletal health a lot. So your role is so crucial, Kanika, in the overall health of women, their mobility, because I think Dr. Pushpa, Dr. Aarti agree that we are going to give a message about being fit at 80, fit at 85, and fit at 90. So Nirja, yes, please conclude. Yes.
So thank you all very much. I think we'll conclude here today. And thank you for all the participants, and as well as our faculty and our speakers. So see you again next time when we post our program. Probably on the second and fourth Sunday. So this time we will do it on the fourth Sunday.
On the 25th of the June.
Yeah.
On the 25th of the June, we will do the next program, because we are having the conference also on the 18th and 17th and 18th at Madurai of Indian Menopause Society.
All right.
So from next time, we will do on the second and fourth Sunday.
Yeah, I had one request from the president and secretary, and am I okay to speak?
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
मुझे ये लग रहा था कि since this concept is so novel and it is so impactful, actually, that maybe you should request for a slot in the conferences named as Prerna, and you should take it forward. Maybe
Exactly, Shobha. Just I am thinking. Just I have a thought that we should have a workshop on the communication skills,
yes, yes,
which
yeah.
is very important. Other than
इसको
positive
प्रेरणा ही
thought,
नाम
we should
दीजिएगा.
work. Yes, we should thought. I am just thinking to do it in
Correct.
the Agra, but
Correct.
for that we need the persons who can
Yes.
conduct this.
Yes, yes.
Which should be very influential to the people. So just I have a thought that I should do this workshop.
Correct, correct.
Yes, thank you.
That's
Thank you
great.
so much. You have given me opinion of the same thing which I am
Yes,
thinking in my mind.
yes. I'm sure Nirja also agrees with me that
Absolutely.
yeah, it will bring in a lot of awareness that such
We will do that. We will search
platforms
the
are
people.
necessary. Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes, that's
many
good.
people may be able to contribute. Many members may be able to contribute to this. They may have some parallel talent. Scientific is okay, but they may be having something more to contribute to the society. Indian menopause.
I think we will do that. We
Will
will ask to our group, then we will do that. In Agra, I will do that in North Zone Conference. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
But the
Now-
one thing is this. One thing is this. Still participants are there. We should talk on the group.
I'm stopping this YouTube live and recording now. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
I think there's one question from Surjit Kaur, and she's asking me that she has pain in gluteal region from 6 months. So, ma'am, as far as I can recall, you are probably suffering from the piriformis syndrome, but I cannot be concrete as I'm not physically examining you. But you can be if the pain is very confined, it is probably due to piriformis syndrome. Like I've shown in videos, there was an exercise where you were flexing your hip and knee and bringing it towards your shoulder, known as knee to chest. The same you can do is piriformis stretch. You can search it on YouTube, or the other thing you can do is the knee to chest exercise that I was doing, suppose from the left leg to the left shoulder. You have to stretch the left leg to the right shoulder and your left piriformis will be stretching. You hold it there for 30 seconds and repeat it thrice. So you can do it thrice a day, and before you do any kind of stretching, you have to give the hot packs. And you can consult any physiotherapist nearby. They can perform activities like dry needling and ultrasonic pulse massage that will help you relieve with your pain. So are we having any other questions regarding this?
As I understand, what you have said is that you bend your leg, hold it just below your knee, and pull it towards the opposite shoulder.
Opposite shoulder. Yes.
That is the piriformis stretch?
Piriformis. That's the piriformis stretch.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, Feroz, I think we wind up here. Thank you all.
Yeah. Feroz, आपने बंद कर दी?
Recording, please बंद कर दो.